Welcome, friends. Today, we are doing another fragrance rotation video. Just kidding. We are doing another live stream. How are you? Welcome. How are we all doing? Welcome, Christoph. Welcome, DJ. Welcome, Saab. Welcome, A, who has just smelled Heaven Can Wait for the first time. Welcome, Dushan. Welcome, Dev, Josie, Christoph again, Dev again. Welcome, Paroli and Juro. Oh, Dev is starting the academic year tomorrow. I hope we are all well. Welcome, Wasif Reza. Welcome, PK. Good evening and Happy New Year ahead. Yes, I think this will be the last live stream of the year. So I hope you will all enjoy and have fun. I shan't be going for 5 hours tonight because I'm already tired. Slept a lot today. Took some oil for the first time in about a month and a half last night or the night before. Slept fantastically, did exactly what I wanted it to do. So I feel good. How are we all doing? My scent of the day. My scent of the day is The Night by Frederick Malle. A big smelly oud with a big smelly rose. Heavy breathing, is there? Sorry about that. Have you tried turning down the air? Have you tried turning down the hoojar? The volume, I beg your pardon. I am one for heavy breathing, unfortunately, because I haven't done any exercise for a long time. I'm looking to do so. Oh, I have a message from Houdini, which I will not play. It's a voice message. Okay. Let's have a look. Starting my academic year tomorrow, slightly anxious, but nothing unmanageable. Well, you'll be okay, mate. Good evening and Happy New Year ahead. Testing Mendita Rosa Lamat. Quite serious floral sheet there. Not a massive fan of the old florals. Lamat is a favourite rose Galia. Lamat is a favourite rose Galia. I reviewed it about 10 years back. 2 years back? 10 years back? 2 years back. Forgive us. There is some Forza Horizon here. There is some La Ligue Fleur Universale unboxing. Much COD. I just had a look. Let's have a look. Where am I? Sorry, I'm a bit all over the place. I've come in having a couple of conversations at once. Hello, supply and demand. Hello, MJ. You are wearing Laos. Pradeep has fucked me up by commenting on my breathing. Evening, says Divine. Just got done watching that dog shit Persile's top 10. I watched the first couple and then I was like, ugh, I'm not arsed with this. So I left £2 and bailed. It's taking an inhaler because methotrexate does not do well to lungs. Doesn't care for lungs. So I've got one of those now. Scent of the day, went with something vintage Fahrenheit. Still great, absolutely it is. Oh, excuse me. Ryan is wearing Le Labo, another 13. What a weird frag. Women seem to love it, says Ryan. Welcome, Splinter. Finally tried Gucci Guilty Absolute. I really enjoyed it, but it doesn't seem to last more than 4 hours on my skin. Are you asking people around you if they can still smell it, though? Because it could be lasting. You could just be going anosmic. Scent Fumes, welcome to you. Evening, everyone. Scent of the day is King Koros Vintage. Which vintage? Which one have you got? Which one are you wearing, sorry? Turn on, tune in, drop out. Hello, hello. Pradeep, welcome. Thinking of trying the new Louis Vuitton Myriad. Smelled it quickly and need more time. Pretty loud oud opening. A big loud oud, eh? I've been wearing a big loud oud today. Oh! Thinking of... Oh, sorry. Uploaded my review on Sultan Pasha's Vetiver Blanc today. You'd bloody hate it. Rich tuberose in it. I think I saw the notification for that. So I might watch that later. There was no Zerzhov, says Divine. Well, it couldn't have been that bad. 3, 2, 1, and we're back in the room, says Spine Mash. Side Effect re-up came in, fell in love all over again. Top 2 for me, says Supply and Demand. Scent of the Night is Teatro alla Scala. I prefer this to Coco, says Dev. Interesting, I've got Teatro alla Scala. Anuj, very kind, which we will talk about Anuj at some point. Anuj once sent me a bottle very kindly. Spine Mash is wearing a Loader for Men. Wasif says, oh man, I write on Instagram. I used to have my own community on Facebook, which I had left completely and transported few of my write-ups on Instagram, currently harmonizing with my studies in physics and perfumery. Good grief. You've got a lot going on, mate. Doug won't even read my shitty Bond scent of the day. Lamau says Supply and Demand. I did not say it. I didn't even say it, to be honest. Scent of the day is New York Night by Bond. It's going to be shite, that. The Helion doesn't work on my skin, but I like it very much in the air. Won't buy it, I suspect, though, says Divine to Supply and Demand. Yes, Uzak, Immortal Beloved today. Nice. I need to try some of these Uzaks. Tried some Surgiton Shaggy this week and was a little surprised how sweet it was. Is Fumery Turk the sweet? I would say Fumery Turk's much sweeter. I have come to the conclusion Eris is meh, says Pradeep. I thought MXXX was nice. I preferred MX actually, but it lasted for about an hour. Scent of the day is Musk Rabageuse, says A. DJ mate, have you smelled Vetiver Blanc? Sadly not, says DJ. I've heard a lot about you all over the place. Nice to meet you. Just subbed. Welcome, Wasif. Thank you. That's very kind. I am glad to have you here, and I'm glad you have spoken to us. We're always happy to have new and interesting voices. You can say and whatever you want here. Have any perfume opinion. I do not block people for having differing opinions on fragrance. Blind duck, says Micah. So blunt. It's divine. I find it best to just say it. You know what I mean? Just say it. If you think something's shit, just say you think it's shit. It's all right. What's going to happen? It's not the end of the world. You know. I think Xerjoff's an absolutely trash brand. Other people don't. It's as long as they're not spending my money on it, I don't care. Do you know what I mean? It's their money to do with what they want. We all learn from our own mistakes. I think that's something I've always done. Learn from me. Well, try to learn from my own mistakes. One of the keys to getting ahead in life is, I think, as well, to learn from other people's mistakes. Only Bond I love. Well, I do love one Bond, and it's New Harlem by Bond number 9, of course. Jesus, but I think I like that as like a nostalgic thing from like much earlier in Fragcom. It takes us back to My Mickers and Brooklyn Fragrance Lover and Robes 08 and all of that good stuff. Yes, lads. Scent of the day. Shergee says DMS. That's two calls for Shergee so far. Sell M Triple X says Brody. Maybe not. I don't wear it, to be fair. I'll give you that. I rarely reach for that fragrance. Serge is too unwearable for me for the most of the time. But the thing is, they've got so many perfumes that there's something there for you. There's something there in Serge Lutens for you. I just absolutely love the house, like, you know. A lot of them are unwearable. I mean, Baptême de Feu is just an absolutely batshit perfume. Like, mental. I can't believe you did a 5-hour stream, mate. I bet you were knackered, honestly. Do you know what it is? I didn't go to sleep. I didn't like crawl into bed, but I like sort of like lay there in my bed staring at the ceiling going, what the fuck have I just done? You know what I mean? Like, what have I just done? I surprised myself. I don't know why or how. Ended up talking about fucking politics and the way the world is at the minute and all that stuff that I always say I'm never going to talk about. I ended up just talking about it, but I didn't say anything so outrageous that I thought I could offend anybody, like, at all, you know? Like, I just kind of complained about the fact that nobody's normal anymore, you know? Which is, everybody feels like that, whether you're on either side. Everybody's just crazy. But it'll be okay. Even the ones I like. Serge is too unwearable. Even the ones I like, there's a couple of them that are eminently wear. I mean, Amber Sultan's one of the most wearable fragrances you can get. Like, I can't do an hour, let alone 5. Then again, I speak for the overwhelming majority of the stream and don't stop talking, says Dev. I do, but I kind of like take the amount of people who have left comments on my videos recently saying you leave so many breaks in between when you talk, and it's like, well, I'm thinking before I speak. I was always told to do that when I was a child. Do you know what I mean? Because when I was a child, I didn't, and I used to just use words. Words used to just come out, and it was crazy. So I take little breaks. Well, I say I take little breaks. I don't necessarily take little breaks. I just sort of, I try not to just like fill in the blanks with unnecessary words. That's kind of what I'm trying to do. Oh, I wasn't saying the blunt part about the Zerja. I was saying that about you saying, oh, that blonde can't be good. Yeah, it's Bond, it can't be good. It's gonna be bad. You know, it's just gonna be shit. They're just a shit. I mean, I remember years ago saying, I think it was on a Robes 08 stream, or it may have been on a stream with me and Houdini and Eugene. It was years ago now, and I remember saying, oh, Bond number 9, the worst niche house in the world. And somebody was like, yeah, actually, they probably are. And they probably are. Like, I can't think of many worse. Can you formulate thoughts during hydration? That's another trick. Just gives us like a time just a couple of seconds just to, like, feng shui me thoughts, me consciousness. Oh, pardon me, sorry. I try and avoid folks whose feelings are hurt by the opinions of others. Quite. It shows a, do I want to say a weakness? It shows a trepidation. It shows a lack of confidence, a lack of courage. Because you can lack confidence but still have courage. And in fact, a lot of people who have courage lack confidence, but they still do shit anyway. You know what I mean? Some of the bravest people you can find, like, I'm scared, but I'm going to do it anyway. Bollocks. You know what I mean? Just to stand by what they feel. It's okay. I already know about your Zerjoff opinions. Scent of the Night, Francesco Smoldo, one of my favourite fougères. I think. You mean this? I have got loads of this, and it's fucking mint. I love this stuff. I'll try and sort you out with some samples down the line, says DJ. You are too kind. I said I would send you some samples the other day, and I can't remember what of, mate. If you can remind us. Francesco Smolto was kind of generic, not in a bad way, it's just not mind-blowing. The thing is I think it's one of the best of the genre, do you know what I mean? It's one of the best examples of that genre. I really like the smokiness from the oak moss. Like, I really like that. And it's got this kind of weird twist of, like, anise in it. I think it's better than Rive Gauche Pour Homme. I think it's better than that considerably. A New Harlem is too soft, says Micah. Which a 5-hour stream, then immediately Eugene did an 8-hour stream to reassert dominance. That's right. Yes, we will be talking about that stream and Anuja's declaration, which will be fucking immense. Is it Argos or Zaharoff today, boss? Says Dave. 5-hour stream for Mitch is the equivalent to me texting my uni crush at 19, says Dev. Yoshi, it's my second favourite masculine powers, and the only other masculine powers I actually enjoy. My favourite is Santos. Yeah, I love Santos as well. I have 2 hours left of the 5-hour stream for rainy days, says Turn On. Drop Out. Mate, I'm just going to call you Drop Out, so if you want us to call you something different, just know, because it's a hell of a name, that. If you want us to call you something else, please let me know. Welcome, Germs. Germs is wearing Patchouli Imperial. Really hit the spot, yes. Hello, welcome, a line on beauty. Yoshi, welcome. Those blokes are twats, says Micah. Just make weird thinking noises when you take breaks, like a Fragcon Winnie the Pooh. Vintages are nice, modern age is a bitch. They like, why are you breathing? Yes, why are you breathing? Stop that. Raphael, how are you? Oud Monarch works so well in freezing temperatures. I have got Oud Monarch. I've got a little one of them 10mm ones, and it's pretty great. Welcome, Kitchy K. Coffee and Husky. Excuse me whilst I hydrate. I have not smelled any Zaharoff, says Paolo. Signature Pour Homme's really good. Like, really, really, really good. Tobacco was really good. I've smelled Royale and another one, and Noir. Royale and Noir, they were both nice. But the original Pour Homme was really, really nice. Like, I bought a bottle of that, and I'm very happy. But it's got the weakness of its strength, right? Which is that you can wear it whenever you want, for any occasion at all. And the problem with that is when you've got a massive fragrance collection, you end up never wearing it, which is what I've done, because there's always another perfume that suits a particular situation better. But if somebody asked me, can you tell us one fragrance? You know, if somebody I knew in real life was like, go on then, you're a fragrance enthusiast, tell us one fragrance. I just want one fragrance, but I want it to smell different than YSL Myself, or I want it to smell different than a Francis Kurkdjian. I want it to smell different from Aventus. I want it to smell different from all this other shite that everybody else is wearing. Sauvage, Bleu de Chanel. I would be like, Sahara off pour on. Really well priced. It's a really good smell. It's really well made. And you can wear it whenever, wherever and whenever. Thinking of Aurum by Chemi, though, says Supply and Demand. Their temporary nature is even something to appreciate, I think, says Tev. Can you formulate thoughts during hydration? Yes. Welcome, Mike V. Wearing Eli Saab Essence number 8, Santal. Is it nice? Is that line as good as everyone says it does? I'm really gutted I could never get to smell it. Yes, it's big on IBQ along with a Western fictitious lavender. Better than 99% of what's out today, and that price point. Quality is up there as well, says Wasif. And he's correct if he's talking about smalt though. Hello, Rich. Hello, everyone. Scent of the day is Kaji by Chris Rusak. Orris butter with jasmine and hay with a small amount of civet. This is a gorgeous indie frag for sure, says Pat Lester. Happy New Year, Paulo Gomez. How are you? Some people go full cut when someone doesn't like what they like. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy what some people are like. What's the state of some people get themselves into when you say you don't like what they like. Like, that shit, especially with perfume. Fucking hell, like, I would never get me knickers in a twist over shit like that. Remain calm. It's gonna be okay. You'll be fine. Oh. Friends, if you would like to like the stream, I would be delighted. That would be very kind if you would. People don't like what I like, and that's okay, says DJ. Yeah, exactly. Wasi Fereza, is that about Lapidus or Santos? Either way, yeah, they're good, but I honestly despise the rest of the fragrances in the powerhouse genre, says Dev. I love Malto Smalto, says Dushan. I love that as well, actually. Cuddles is now known as 5 Binoculars Sprays. Rant against Smiley is worth checking out. Nothing he says is worth checking out. Dan called him a failed YouTuber. That must have hurt. Yeah, well, bollocks to that. Fuck him. Just remember what he is. What type of person he is. And what he is. And what he's done. You know. No redeeming features. Trying to rear his ugly, sweaty head again. Argos and Zaharoff is American excellence, says Supply and Demand. I will be the judge of whether Argos is American excellence. Well, for me, I will be anyway, because I'm going to be trying them in the new year. You won't have much luck finding a 100ml bottle of that smalter for under 300 USD, says John Hodge. Ooh. Argos, it's not worth 300 USD, like. Scent of the day, coffee and whiskey, says Kitchy. Smalto, Dev. I know there's so much. My current favourite fougere is Hein and fougere from Jinx. Very well blended, and I must try. Those Smalto lie within the top 20 for me. I think Beau de Jour, the original private blend, was pretty fucking great. Like, nothing new to my palate, but for the majority, it's probably something really new. Tried the new Parfum d'Empire, says DJ. Nice. Victory of Dionysus. Juby 40 is stunning, says Paolo. Signature Pour On is number 1 in my book. I'm finally getting a Jubilation 40 sample. I'm waiting for Greggy Boy to get it in. You know, she's awful, especially the vintage. The modern is okay, actually. Welcome, Sandra. Drop out, says Sean. No problem, however it suits you. Cheers, man. Ganymede, probably. No, screw Ganymede. Someone has donated £5 via coffee, or bought me a coffee. Thank you. Duck tells no lies, says Splendid Man. Tries not to. I don't know. Someone put a gun to me head, I'd start talking out my fucking arse if needs be, do you know what I mean? Ugh. I'm still not sure I could, not sure I could say I like Derzhoff though, even with a gun to me head. And be like, you like Derzhoff, don't you? I'd be like, oh, how we? Come on now. You can't do that. That's harsh. Gun to me head's one thing. Pretending to like Derzhoff, too far. Too far. I'm surprised to see how good of a value Antares is. 100 mil for 125 US dollars. Yeah, it is. It's extremely good. Considering what you'll pay for fragrances that are half as good, you know what I mean? Like, there are a lot of niche fragrances which aren't as good as Antares in the modern formula, you know? So, explore these old perfumes. Sometimes they're fantastic. Sandra's wearing Rock. How do you find it? Evening, Rich. Welcome, Tim Wilcox. Spent half an hour ordering from Nay. The forms are in French. Yeah, it's a nightmare, isn't it? What's your thought on the 90s JP Jean Patou Sublime EDT? Currently analysing this beauty as a good dose of ambergris tincture and Mysore sandalwood. Have I tried Sublime? I don't know. I don't think I have. I do like Mar Liberté though. Mar Liberté is an absolutely incredible fragrance. Rich, I hate driving into Newcastle as they have made it too complex, having to go via Gateshead and I end up in a bus lane and a fine, says Yoshi. Oh no! It is, you've got to go over the A1 and then over the Red Hoof Bridge and it's a fucking pig. Yeah, getting into Newcastle, unless you keep following the A1 and go in via West, I hope. It depends, but if you're not local, I agree, it's a bad bastard getting into Newcastle. They're in the middle of like revamping the whole transport network up here, which has been fucking, well, I say revamping it, they're just relaying the roads and making things a bit wider, you know what I mean? I was just talking to Ramsey and Jonathan about how British roads are essentially fucking old highways and byways that Dick Turpin used to rob on his horse. So they really just put concrete over they put tarmac, asphalt over the top of these fucking ancient 900-year-old roads that people have walked and ridden horses on for hundreds of years. And that's essentially how our transport infrastructure is sort of built up over time. And it's shit. I mean, don't get us wrong, not all of it's like that, but a lot of it's like that. Still to this day, like, it's not like in America or Canada or like even places like fucking China, where they have literally built like with like all the modern technology and forward planning and all of that sort of thing. Long straight roads, straight borders between states and stuff like that. You know, it's not like that here. It's just not like that here. It's evolution, not revolution here. But yes, driving into Newcastle is a bit of a cow. Saturday is proud around but poor on. Good stuff, says Bilbo. It is tremendous. Like, it is absolutely top stuff. First say Boz, and then I will like the stream. I will say nothing of the sort, Boz. Reminds me, I still need to try those Darren Allens down the line. A bit overloaded with samples and bottles at the minute, says DJ. I've got them. I've got the Darren Allen sample set. Michael Horn has very kindly sent them. So once I've done them, I'll do them next, actually. I finished the Neil Vermeers. Don't think I'll be buying anything from Neil Vermeer as good as they are. Just not for me. But they are very good. They are very good. I would encourage you to all try the Neil Vermeers. I will try the Darren Allens next, and then I will send them to DJ. I love the money, and it's so cheap and old school, says Yoshi. Some of the best stuff. Anybody tried Curry Kia, says Paolo. I've never heard of it. Just know I will never own a Montal Mancera. I'm not that bad, says Blind Mind. They have started popping up in shops and stuff around here. Like, I mean, good grief. How is Ostens aged for you? So I have Impression Cedarwood Hot, which I really like. But I wouldn't replace it, and I don't think I'd replace any of the other ones either, to be honest. I would the sample set is really good, actually. Sample set's really good, and it's well priced, and it looks cool as well. Good evening, Keith. I am perturbed by life, but alcohol helps, says Yoshi. Ganymede makes me feel like a fragrant snob, which I enjoy, says Yoshi. Ganymede smells like straight up like a sheet of iron. Too weird, and yet at the same time not weird enough. I don't like the metallic aspect of Ganymede, but I do like the creativity. It's very different. One day I'm going to put some Zerjoff in a Frederick Moore bottle, and you're going to say, this shit banging, bro. Sublime is one of my favourites, as is my Liberté, says a line on beauty. Old perfumes are good and old perfumes are bad, just as new ones are good and new ones are bad. The only thing that has changed is which perfumes become popular. The same quality still exists. I would make a little argument with you there, in that the classic style of perfumery has changed, and I don't think it's as good these days. You don't get these big, opulent, lush perfumes with like 50 different notes in now. You get this kind of use of materials that are proprietary materials that are pushed by the houses, and they are like the fragrance house, not like YSL, not that kind of fragrance house. The blending houses, Jesus Christ, they're pushed by like the houses that make the oil houses. There we go. God, and then as such, you get a lot of perfumes that smell the same. The flavouring houses, that's right. And you get a lot of perfumes that the plurality starts to decrease, the diversity of the perfume starts to decrease. You know, experimentation goes through the floor also, because there's another aspect of like focus groups, and everybody's always wanted to make money, yes, but it's become a bigger and bigger percentage of the equation these days. You know? Oh, that's Lone Star Memories. It's so good. My God. So, well, I would say that while you do make a good point in some ways, there are other ways that I could like demonstrate to you that there are still good perfumes out there that are being released every year, but as an overall percentage of the total volume of perfume released, it's getting smaller. You know, a lot of perfumes are being released now, and most of them are shit. Now, that statement was probably always true, but I think that the number of hits is decreasing and the number of misses is increasing. An Antaste bottle will fall during the live stream. It will not. It is gently resting. It is making Amorous overtures to bally masculine. My decanter vintage Yiki is finished, so I bought a bottle of the current EDP, which arrived today, but I'm too scared to open. Has anyone tried the current formula, says a Lion on Beauty? But Asian infrastructure is superior to North America. It's like several decades ahead, if not more, says Shelby. They've got a lot of capital, and their system's totally different. You know, you've got to remember, communism has always been good at doing big central infrastructure projects, because they can simply say, right, that's happening and it's happening now. In the West, we have to take into account everybody's voice, you know? So in China and places like that, the individual is very kind of comes second, you know? That's why their infrastructure is better and getting better and gets built a lot quicker as well. Plus, they have a lot of money they're putting into it, you know? No, Japan isn't communist either, but it did have the Japanese economic miracle, as did the German economic miracle after the Second World War, which is also the British. Like, the British did not have an economic miracle after the war. Rogue is getting a lot of hype, but I can't imagine how these notes smell pleasant. Mushroom accord might still blind buy, says Baroli. Alana Beauty Girl On is actually superb in terms of formulations. I smelled Modern Mitsuko and it's almost the same thing. Happy New Year, Shelby. Come on, Mitch, you know it's the truth. It's not the truth. One of my female friends got Intense Cafe for Christmas from my mum, actually, says Divine Harsh. I'm even curious about Rogue, even in this Florida heat. Alright, me, man, Sarah Bottles, you'd be happy to own if you needed a weapon in a hurry. Being addicted to the early Miss Dior's and ancient Mitzies for over 8 years now. The initial batches of Mitsuko just blows me away still, even after learning the technicalities of all factions, says Wasif. The fragrance market fundamentally has changed. We have new regulatory bodies as well as the larger companies controlling the creative nature of the perfumers. There's so much to it, unable to comment. Yeah, there's a lot more going on than just any one thing as to why the way things are changing, you know. But I do think that you can smell stuff like what Roger Dove smells and what Roger Dove used to make, like Diaghilev, and it can still be done, you know. And I refuse to believe that perfume is worth $800. That perfume is not worth 800 fucking pounds or dollars. You could sell it at better than half price, you know, and still cut a large profit. It's just that there's a massive gap in the market because nobody makes perfumes like that anymore. Style has changed. Times have changed. People don't want perfumes that smell like that, you know. Are tower caps better now? Puts me off buying more? Yes. All the noses and raw materials come from the same houses. IFF, Givaudan, Firmenich, Man, and as you said, it affects diversity. Yep. Feel like every day there's a new niche house. I've had a problem with my tower cap, but I bought them all in the last 2 years. Hence the entire scheme of the artistic aspect of perfumery has shifted. Heinz Ketchup 100ml is now the same price as niche perfume, says Yoshi. If Acro Bake is a hit, I'm Queen Elizabeth, says Divine. I think the number of hits and misses has been the same throughout the time, but the misses have been forgotten to time. That is true. Japan is not communism, and it's like it's life living in the future compared to North America. Yes, but you must remember also that the Japanese have a massive demographic problem, which is like about 30 years ahead of ours. So we're going to have the same demographic issues that the Japanese are going to have, but in about 30 years' time, when our generation starts living to 80 and 90 years old regularly, you know. Does anybody know what has happened to Wafts from the Loft? Dan and Joe have not posted a video for 6 months now. I would try to find them on Instagram if I were you. But I don't have Instagram, and I'm not you, so I don't know if they're not there. Any thoughts on vintage Gucci Pour Homme? It looks decent, at least on paper. Which Gucci Pour Homme? There are three. There's a vintage Gucci Pour Homme from the 70s, which is this one. There's Gucci Pour Homme 1, and there's Gucci Pour Homme 2. Which one do you mean, Raphael? And thank you, Raphael. I see you bought me a coffee. I want another perfume murder mystery movie, says Yoshi. Dropout says, with all the shitty perfumes these days, it should be easy for brands to make a good perfume, but they're still pumping out sweetie, shitty perfumes, and the people buy them. That's why they're still pumping them out. People are voting with their wallets. Japan is not living in the future compared to North America. Their work culture is even worse than America. The Japanese have a word that means death from overwork, and you know that means something. Yes. Yes. So do the Koreans. You look at the Koreans there. They're offing themselves at they've always offed themselves at a higher rate, but their rate of self-inflicted death has been quite outrageous. It's up there with, well, I think it surpasses the Swedes, actually. But that's because of the light. I'm starting to worry about what's on the loft, says Shelby. Should order some Rojas, says Divine. Better you than me. Welcome, Eugene. Yeah, buddy. How you doing? I ended up getting 3 bottles Montal Bachur and Oud Cuir d'Arabi and Uomo Salvatore Ferragamo signature for Christmas. Congratulations. Did you enjoy them? £800 perfume is not my thing, as lovely as Diaghilev is. So sorry, says a line on beauty. It's done to make people feel superior when they buy it. That's why that perfume's... It's named after a fucking... Diaghilev was a ballet producer, was he not? A ballet dancer. It's that whole aesthetic of the Veblen goods. This must be good because it costs so much money. You must be good because you spend so much money. It's all front and bullshit, you know. It's crazy. Welcome, Marco Morelli. I hope you have a good 2024 too. Since June, maybe they've split up. I don't know. I'm not a fan of Roger. Never bought anything though. Tested most. They're all wannabe legends. I wouldn't support someone charging thousands for someone else's creativity. No, I won't. I've had a couple before. I had a couple of the Parfum colognes I got cheap off Deva, who I now realise I'd got them for free. I would have paid less for them if I could have. If I'd remembered that, if I'd known that at the time. But we live and learn. We move. What's going on here? Here we go. Sorry, I've lost the chat, which is a terrible mistake. All the wonderful samples. This is why I bought them, says Kronos. Which will you be releasing your pickups video before New Year? No, not before New Year. I'll be waiting until the New Year's over. Be in the first couple of weeks of January. I might do a separate year in review as well about the state. I might do like a state of the collection video if anyone's interested about my philosophy moving forward on collecting perfume and what I've sold in the last year and why and how, that sort of thing. Excuse me. Oh, I meant the 70s Gucci that you have put quite a dent in the bottle, I see. Well, I got that as a partial, but I have worn it a few times. It's really nice, but you've got to make sure that it's in good condition when you get it. Welcome, Herb. Shelby is wearing vintage Jean de Pré Bala Versailles. It is fucking amazing. It is. Shall I be wearing it for New Year's Eve? Probably not, but it's tempting. I gave mine to Richie J. I gave me vintage Bala Versailles to Richie G. I recently acquired Vero Perfumo's Onda, and what a sensation it is. Best blind buy I've ever made, says Herb. Outrageous. What's it like? Bella Versailles, a favourite, especially the parfums. I had the, did I have the Eau de Toilette or the Eau de Parfum? I'm not sure. Oh yes, a collection video, says A Line on Beauty. The absolute state of this collection, Rich Mitch says. I wouldn't go through all of my bottles. That's not what I would do. I do that twice a year anyway, when I do the rotation video. You know, the mid-season rotation video. Or the off-season, I don't know, I can't remember. It's the change from spring and summer to autumn and winter, and then autumn, winter to spring and summer, which this year will be coming. There is a news. I will be discussing a news soon. So I do that, which basically shows nearly all the bottles I've got in my collection. But I will do a video philosophizing on how and why and what I'm going to be collecting, and the changes I've made to my criteria. That'll be kind of like the state of the collection video that I'll be doing. Nothing kind of going through everything. Excuse me. Oh, sorry. I'm sure would all be interested in your collection review. Yes, please, says Tim. I've smelled Bala Versailles' niche homage à la Papillon Salome, and it's not really for me. If what I think is the subdued version is the stink, I'll leave the OG alone. I really think I'd be surprised if you didn't love it. It's a proper old school floral pissy sheepra. Zach, welcome. You are wearing 34 Boulevard Saint-Germain. Onda is spices, animalic, vetiver, and honey. It's similar but not the same to Guerlain's Jetty. Everyone is saying hello to a news. What's a sheepra that blew you away? No Guerlain, says Wasif. Koros! Koros is a sheepra that blew me away. I'm not massive on sheepras. Koros is a sheepra that blew me away. Only compliment beasts from now on, says Pradeep. I'm going to dehydrate. I'll be back in a second, friends. Please hold. Whoa. Somebody keep the room entertained. Pradeep, do something. Entertain people. I'm back. So before I came on stream, I decided to spray Borneo's 1834. Borneo 1834 by Serge Vuitton. And my room smells a bit strongly, potently. It's outrageous. Well, I'm not a fan. Not a fan, to be honest. I prefer Coromandel, I think. I think I will be selling my Borneo 1834. The patchouli in it smells a bit. It just doesn't smell like something I want, you know. Borneo versus Coromandel. Coromandel for me. Pardon me. I love lots of chypres. Some are evil smelling though, says Herb. Rochas Femme and Zoologist Civet are some of Dev's favourite. I love Rochas Femme. I've got the vintage Rochas Femme somewhere back there. Okay, Chorus, I got to know you now. Great choice. I have many vintage Choroses. Kuroi. Chypre Shot is probably low on the Chypre list for most, but I quite enjoy it, says A. Start a fund to ship Richard Podium for a state of the collection address. I think it's got the spirit of Cody's original. Stunning. Wore the pre-cresp Femme just last day. One of the finest takes on cumin musks and fruity accords. I love the resinous aspect of it. Don't get me started on that stupid trend, says Sandra. I want only beast mode compliment getters, so I'd rather wear shit if it gets me compliments. I'd rather impress with my wit. There's just so much shit perfume being pushed by dickheads on the internet because they've got an affiliate link. Jesus. Tim says, anyone else watch Persiliz's top 10 of 2023? My top 10 2023 will not be top 10 releases of 2023 because I don't get free bottles and I will refuse free bottles. So my top 10 of 2023 will be the top 10 perfumes I purchased in 2023, which will mean I will have to go and remind myself what I purchased in 2023. There are some notable perfumes that stand out that I do remember. And so they will appear, you know. Juro Rose is sending me memes. So I am telling him that I am doing streams. Scandalous man. Why is he in his house minding his own business instead of being here? I love Chypre Siam as well. Cody had a perfume called Chypre A. Called Chypre. Most 2024 wishlist, most single frag duck reviews. Yes, I like when I do a review, I like to try and it's one of the videos I'm like scared of doing because it's not just like an off the cuff one, you know. Like first impressions are really easy because they're off the cuff. Like I don't have to use a filter. I don't have to think. I can just speak, you know. Which is easier. And when I have to think about it, I'm more committed and I want to do it justice, you know. So I would like to do more singular reviews as well, but I would like to whoa, Calvin. That is such a good perfume. I remember when Ramsey baited us into doing that. There is my Chanel Cologne Concentrate, Egoist. And there is my Rochas Femme. Have you ever seen that, Rochas? Anything you regret buying this year, says Christoph. Yes. But not like I bought it and smelled it and thought, fuck, this is shit. Welcome Sweet Milk. I want to try Targy Forest from Rogue Perfumery this year. It's new. Is that a 2023 release? I haven't tried many Rogues. The thing with Rogue for me is that I tried Mousse Illumine, which everybody was going mad about, and I was like, this isn't great. And I tried De Viche, and the ones I've tried just haven't impressed us, so I'm a bit scared to try anymore because it's an absolute pig trying to get them in England, you know. Strange that. Tim, is Jasmine Bonheur really that great? Sheba Dakota, Sheba Siam was a North Dakota. Pradeep, what's your beast mode compliment? Get her to make her hypnotize and devoid of free will by, says Dev. Jasmine, the girl on Jasmine didn't exactly give me a raging bonheur, I can't lie. Welcome, Bjorn, how are you? Merry Christmas, mate, and Happy New Year. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you, too. DJ's wondering what he's wearing tomorrow. I'm wondering what I'm wearing tomorrow. Herb, I've not much chance of smelling many of those, but I did take a punt on the Nair one as I wanted that issue anyway. Patchouli Imperial is better than Coromandel for me, says Germs. I would have to put them side by side. Patchouli, speaking of Chypre, have you tried Iranzol by Bruno Acampora? Badass green Chypre, in my opinion, says Juro. That Persiles list was dog shit, says Divine. My number one release was Aquia Absolute from Electimus. I will die on that hill, says Divine. Like a man who believes in what he says and says what he believes. I wonder how many of those bottles Persiles bought on that list, says DJ. With whose money? Very few, says Divine. I had a little bit of a deep vintage Coty Chypre. It's really, really good. I don't like heavy-handed oat moss blends, but that one is just magical. Azure, I had a vintage Azure that Greggy Boy sent us a little bit of. Sent us like a couple of mils of it. Good grief. I've also got a vintage Quorum. You want to talk about heavy-handed oat moss? Shit. That's one of the only perfumes I've ever come out in a rash with because there's that much fucking oat moss in it. Goodness me. Terrifying. I'm going to have to block you, pal, if you continue, says Boz. Etro's Patchouli EDP was pretty good. I like the EDP, actually. I thought it was nice, but I want the eau de cologne. I want the cologne. Somebody's selling it. Wires, maybe. Been a while since I've worn it. Probably a good one. Sweet Milch has deleted a fragrance. A fragrance has deleted a message. I'm really hitting my stride with my single reviews every week. Doesn't get much engagement, but I now do one review every week, and it's good to talk about perfumes, both good and bad. That's the way. That is the way you should be. Everybody should. I say you should. Everybody should. We all should be talking about bad perfumes as well as good perfumes. You know? Like, because it's the bad stuff that you usually learn from rather than the good stuff. It's good to have good habits and learn from like what's good and stuff, but not many people mention the bad stuff anymore. Oh, that's so good. It's so resinous. I mean, it's winter. It's like proper meteorological winter now. So the resinous stuff's probably going to start. I mean, I say the resinous stuff. I've been wearing nothing but fucking myrrh recently. Chypre Siam, like many of the Coty-inspired Chypres, is beautiful, but also a little bony. There's room for a massive fruit floral or animalic, I think. I'll send you some Chypre Siam, says Tim. Thank you. Rev d'Ocean is the only Aritzia I like. I ordered the Parfums d'Empire sample set. You've reviewed it, haven't you? I certainly have. I've got a playlist. I don't understand the hype around Rogue, says Shelby. I had a pre-reformulation full sample pack and they didn't smell like a good or balanced blend to me. Tobacco Vert was okay. Good masculine. You better believe I love Acqui Absolute. If I smelled 100 plus releases in 2023, says Divine. Good grief. What are you wearing for New Year's Eve, Rich? Well, it'll just be a general fragrance of the day. I don't really get it. I'm not asked. I've never been asked about New Year's Eve. I used to hate it. It used to make us miserable. I might have just been a miserable git, to be fair, but I hated New Year's. I always hated New Year's. I like the idea that New Year's Day is on a Monday, though. Kind of feels like it should be that way. New year, new week. Or new week, new year. It's funny how the brand was completely ignored recently. Rock and adore them. The rest are samples. To me, the only rogues impressed me were Chypre Siam, Tobacco Vert, and Chypre Noir. Chypre Noir is a mix between vintage Bellamy with touches of Bernard Champ, says Wasif. What are you wearing for New Year's Eve? Haven't tried Targhee Forest. Never even heard of it. I struggle like mad against Aritzia, says Herb. I didn't even like their fabled Chypre Mousse. It smelled weirdly sweet to me, like scorched sugar. I hate New Year's too. I always spend it on my own. I try to be asleep by 12 o'clock now. You know what I mean? And I usually am. Excuse me. Tobacco, I'm telling you, it's really strange. Ever since I became ill, me sleep is one of the only things that's improved. Like, sleep like a log. My sleep used to be shocking. I didn't used to go to sleep at like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. And then wake up at like 1 or 2 o'clock and be like, oh, the day's over anyway, shit. You know what I mean? It was a bad cycle. Now I'm asleep by like midnight most nights. Or some nights. New Year's Eve stream. Maybe. I might just do a gaming one. Because I usually do that on a Sunday. I'll be glad once the whole New Year's thing's over. Because once Christmas and New Year are over and get back to like routine. Struggle without me routine. Or like when the world sort of goes on holiday for a bit, you know what I mean? It's like everybody starts acting really strangely around Christmas and New Year. I'm like, oh, it's just stress, isn't it? You know what I mean? Just go back to normal, for God's sake. And the modern formulation of Bellamy and Equipage worthwhile? Compared to everything else on the market, yes. Compared to their vintage iterations, not so much. If you can get a vintage, get the vintage. In your opinion, which perfume note is underrated? To me, it's Fig and Star Anise. Fig more has been less utilized than Star Anise. Star Anise has actually been around and used for a long time. It's been around and used for a long time as Star Anise, but because it's a spice. But Fig, because Fig is like photosensitive, they had to make like a synthetic, which obviously took longer. I think you can use Star Anise. I don't know that though. I've said that. I've never heard that you can't, but I'm aware that Fig will melt your fucking skin if you put it on and then go out in the sun. Olivia Giacobetti wants to know your location. I hate New Year's Eve too. I will spend it on my own. The week in Israel starts on Sunday, so it's not a perfect overlap here, says Dev. Does your year start on the 1st of January, though, or do you have like a Jewish New Year? I don't like Chypre Mousse. The fennel note is overwhelming, says Kuro. Modern Bellamy is highly watered down, though preserves the OG DNA. Performs well on cooler days, though. I have both the flask and the moderns. I love them both. I've got the two older versions. I've got this version, and I've got the shaker bottle. What they call the shaker bottle. Shaker bottle is dark and black and evil. This one is the sweet spot for me. This one's immense, but I haven't been wearing much leather this year. You will have noticed I've been wearing all my like ambers and my resinous stuff. That's just the phase I'm going through. Somebody in the comments or on a live stream was like, don't fight it. Just go along with it. You'll come back to the leathers. And I was like, you know, you're right. Bollocks. Because I was getting worried. I was like, oh, I'm just not even wearing like half the stuff I used to wear. And then I was like, no, they were right. Wear what you want to wear. You'll come back to the stuff. The other stuff. Do I have a fragrance buying regret? Maybe Patchouli Noisette. Although, because I really liked it the first time I smelled it, like the first impressions I got from it were really good. And then Dura Rose said that he thought there was amberwood in it, and he said he thought that it was a Middle Eastern fragrance, and that fucking sent me into a tailspin, which you shouldn't allow to happen to yourself. I'm not blaming him for that. Well, I would if I could, but then I've kind of like recovered my opinion of it more and more recently. So I wouldn't say that I necessarily regret buying it, but off the top of my head, maybe Monterey by Ducita, because I'm just not into Oud and Rose. I say that as I'm wearing The Night, you know what I mean? I'm wearing The Night by Frederic Malle, so I do realise I'm fucking contradicting myself as I speak. But I'm just being honest. Oud and Rose isn't really my thing. I've bought Monterey by Ducita, and oh god, I liked it more than Oud Palau because I started getting the amberwood from Oud Palau massively, and it affected us, like it upset us. Like the sprays on these fucking Ducitas are mint. Like, do you know what it is about this fragrance, right? This is something that I have learned about myself, right? And, oh, the fucking lid on this is fucked right off. It just doesn't even, maybe it never did. I really like the smell of Monterey, but I don't want the smell of Monterey. Does that make sense? And I've realised this about perfumes. Do I want to smell the way that perfume smells? This is going to be a new criteria for me going forward. This is something I'm probably going to say in a video. Don't buy things that you just like the smell of. There's something a little bit really medicinal, off working men's club cleaner kind of thing, urinal cakey. You should check the indie house of Chris Rusick. I know Galen and Thomas are big fans of his work. He doesn't send over here, I don't think. I recently found a good deal on Hohan Club, $40 for 100 ml. I have got a bottle of that was made in West Germany. Absolutely mental. It wasn't $40 like, but it was quite mad. Quite a fantastic fragrance, actually. Very dark. And patchouli rich. Patchouli like rose thing. Creamy patchouli. Beautiful. Dark. Thick. Beautiful thing. Well, this behind DNA gets boring real fast. Couple of times a year kind of thing. Yeah. It was very trendy. It was very, very trendy. So you should try some proper oud stuff, Rich. We are quite famous for oud here in Bangladesh. Wish I could send you some artisanal stuff. Well, I have tried some ouds that Peter from Fragrance View sent me. And again, it's a case of with oud, I like the way that they smell, but I wouldn't necessarily want to smell like that. I also, me and Ramsey have had this, like Ramsey especially has explained to me before that he likes the spraying culture, you know, like I've always, when I've applied scent, I've always sprayed it on. The act of swiping a fragrance on is alien to us. Now, that's not to say it's bad. That's just to say it's different. And if we know one thing, I am resistant to change. I'm still buying perfumes that were made in the fucking early 1960s and 70s. But maybe in 30 years' time, if I'm still alive, I'll be into perfumes that are being made now. Welcome, Stuart Mabe. So, I don't know if I could wear an oud as my scent of the day, unless it was like in a perfume, like diluted in alcohol, or at least in a spray bottle, you know. And this is not necessarily Sorry, I've just been distracted by a message that Galen has sent us. He is lurking, of course he's lurking. He's completely put us off. How would you rank the YSL Koros flankers? Not great. Not great. This is a problem, right, with trying to make flankers of one of the best fragrances ever made. You can't improve on it. You can only do, and I had Fraicheur, the vintage Fraicheur. I had the Eau de Sport, and with all, I've got Body Koros still, but that's a completely different fragrance. That is not even remotely similar. I always just found with them that if I was going to wear it, I would just wear Koros. I would just wear normal Koros, you know. So I thought I would just sell them. I just sold them for people who would, you know. Didn't want to hold on to stuff for the sake of holding on to it. I was never wearing them. I was never going to wear them. And that's one thing I've done this year. That will be included. My stated aim at the beginning of this year was to sell off about 100 perfumes, and I have done that. Bought more perfumes than I was anticipating buying. But most of the perfumes I've bought this year have been loves. Haven't blind bought very much as I might have blind bought about 5. Maybe I'm wrong. That is so sheer. That Giorgio Beverly Hills VIP special reserve thing. That is so sheer. Good grief. I'll strip the lining off your nose if you're not careful. That, my God. That's very late 70s to late 80s Italian man with his shirt open kind of stench, that. The thing with Eau de Sport DNA is that the synthetic oud material they're using lasts for too long. It just becomes so annoying. Black egg or a Jivco or whatever else they're using. Yeah, it's an amberwood. Yeah, it's exactly, it's the major problem with perfume at the minute is these massive amberwood materials that they're using that outstrip the rest of the perfume and just blow every other material in there away. Like, I used the example of Sultan Vetiver by Nishani. The vetiver, the opening, the first 20 minutes of that perfume is glorious. Welcome, Aaron D. How are you? The first 20 minutes of Sultan Vetiver is immense. It's brilliant. Everything thereafter is a write-off. It's some kind of post-apocalyptic nuclear wasteland that you've just been absolutely fried. Like, you've been broken down into your constituent atoms, and even some of them have gone the way of the fucking dinosaurs. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just pain and suffering. Going to be trying something vetiver this week, but a small sample, like 0.7 mil. That's all you'll need for to get to feel the power of the amber wood, mate. That is all you will need. My God. It happened to me too with Bleu de Chanel Parfum, and I saw that something bothered me and I liked it at first. Yeah. I thought the problem with Bleu de Chanel, the Bleu de Chanel Parfum had a lovely sandalwood note in it. It was just the rest of the perfume. It was just the rest of the perfume that let it down. And I did like it at first as well. And it happens, do you know what I mean? It happens. You test it and you like it, right? And you wear it. And you think, I'll just put that away and just let it see if it grows on us or it changed. Like, because I liked it. And then, if anything, it just gets worse. And you feel bad. And you're like, you know? Stuart Mate was wearing Shergi. Regrets is more and more the samples to test out things as a waste, as they all pretty much suck. Changed mostly to vintage minis to try things out. Fucking vintage minis are the way forward. Like, it's absolutely amazing. It's brilliant. I just collect them as a thing. I like sampling stuff, and then sampling stuff to me, when I buy a sample set, I consider that money then gone, so I wouldn't buy the sample set. If I don't think that you can recoup any of that money. You know, with perfume, I like to think that I could recoup some. Like ombre leather, I actually gave that as a gift to my friend's boyfriend. Like, I had a parcel. I was like, sorry, I've used like 3 or 4 mil, but just give that to your lad just from me, you know, because I gave all the kids cakes, and I gave her a candle for the house, a Bois d'Argent candle, no less. Fucking what a candle that is! What a perfume that is! But I got her a Bois d'Argent candle for the house, so they can all partake of that. Really, I think that was a case of buying people gifts that you want for yourself. You know what I mean? But yes. Yes, I mean, there are so many houses working with high quality oud oils, Ensar and Agar Wood, Aura. There are oud oils that smell straight up like cherries and fruits. The GCMS is fascinating to analyse. Yeah, that'll be interesting. I kind of took a break this year. I only got Aramis EDT and Paco Rabanne EDT this year, says Christoph. Well done, though. It's good to take stock. Rich, have you smelled Santal Nabatea by Monodiorio? No, I haven't, but that brand has been shuttered, and apparently they're coming back in the middle of 2024. So fuck knows what that house is going to look like in 6 months' time. Absolutely no idea. The cap's straight, at least, says Tim. Evening, Andrej. You were wearing Puente Eden Medusa from Samples. And Shawnee is an amberwood house. It is an amberwood house, you're right. Have you tried Tepidapidus Pour Homme? Yes, which one? I've tried both of them, by the way. Have you smelled Geoff Trump as Wild Fern? Seems like great value. It's a great value house. Eucharist is a brilliant fragrance. Sandalwood Cologne is a brilliant fragrance, which smells like Egoist. Just a house that deserves a lot more love. They've released some really good stuff. Ryan says, anyone tried the new Amouage Jubilation 40 yet? I've ordered a sample if you're in the UK. Fragrance Samples UK has it in stock along with Vanilla Sex. Did I tell Greggy Boy to let us know? Possibly. He's a busy man, to be fair, but I'll buy that. I'll buy that right now, actually, bollocks. We'll do that right now. Fragrance Samples UK. Greggy Boy. So, Jubilation. There it is. Or shall we buy a 2 mil sample? Add to the cut. Oh, fucking bollocks. I'll text him instead. Right, reminders at the end of the stream and I'll just text him. Richard, you smelled Santal Nabatea? No. Sebastian went crazy over Vanilla Sex. He said it's the best Tom Ford in years. Let's see. Let's see, shall we? Let's see. I got a 95 of 100ml Clear D'Orange for 170 with the cap. This was one of my major targets for a long time, so it's spaced out. Welcome. It's always nice when you find a bargain on something you've wanted for fucking ages. Your patience. I'm off to bed. Hope to watch a New Year's gaming stream tomorrow. Good night, Christoph, and thank you for coming. This Immortal Beloved is very nice. I think you'd like it, Mitch. What is it? It's Immortal Beloved. I don't know, I've heard of that. Udam, Brox and Vanilla and Tonka is being used too much. It's time for Civic and Castoreum to return and shock people, says Bjorn. Thoughts on 90s head of Taj? I feel it's a proper easygoing girl-in-aid masculine. I have a 90s. I have a 90s gold cap without the cap, believe it or not. I have a gold cap bottle without the gold cap. And it is very easy going. I put that in my spring and summer rotation, would you believe? I do feel like that's another signature scent worthy, as the phrase goes in the community. That is something you could just say to somebody, one and done, bang, there you go. Don't smell like everybody else. Smell good, don't smell like everybody else. It's a fabulous fragrance. Sandra says, PK, you are so right. The sample sprays are there. Are always bad and never allow you to spray properly, and therefore to experience the fragrance properly. If you could choose between my dream girl, if I could choose between my dream girl and 10 bottles of Z01 Aventus, I would choose Aventus. Am I crazy for this? It's your opinion and it's your life. Over time, the Aventus would probably cost you a lot less money, strangely enough. But it depends. It depends on what your experiences would be, you know. Possibly you are crazy, but possibly you are smarter than everybody else. I don't know. It's one of those things, isn't it? Sandra says, I really enjoy Sebastian because of the number of the scent he is reviewing. But he is a huge gourmand lover, so I've learned to take his recommendations with a pinch of salt. This is a good point. We should all definitely be learning the taste of the people who we are listening to. I did that with Robes. I did it with Eugene. You can learn a lot from people whose taste you don't agree with. I probably learned more about myself from Eugene than I did from Robes, but I probably learned more about the fragrances that I love from Robes. Does that make sense? Like, so you've got to take that with your own. You've got to make it your own. Take these things and make them your own. Cheers, Kratos. Great point, Mr. Aventus would even make me money. It would. Okay, let us now move on to the Anouge. The Anouge drop. I was asleep when Eugene was streaming the other night. Eugene went for 8 hours, the rascal. He went for 8 hours. How do you do that? 5 hours nearly killed me anyway. But I woke up in the middle of the night to go for a piss. And I went to the toilet. You know, like sometimes when you wake up in the middle of the night and you go to the bathroom and then like you come back and you can just crawl back into bed and just turn over. It's almost like you can do it with your eyes shut and just turn over and just go back to sleep straight away. I attempted that, right? And I just couldn't. So I was like, oh no. So I checked what was happening on the internet, all of it. But I started on YouTube and there was Eugene streaming. I thought, Eugene's streaming? It's 4 o'clock in the fucking morning. And I was like, he's been on for a while as well. So I checked in and there was Anouge, and I thought, ooh, there's Anouge. So I sat and listened to them for a couple of minutes. And then Anouge said, oh, I have this massive haul coming. And I was like, what? What's this? And he was like, yeah, I've got this massive haul coming that I've been plotting for like years. I've been like working on it for years, and it's finally been shipped to me. And I was like, oi, oi, what's this? So I texted Ramsey, I texted Jonathan, I was like, have you heard this? What's going on here? And like Ramsey turned up, and then I checked the chat, and the whole chat was going, Rich is going to buy every single one of these bottles. And I thought, I'm not going to buy every single one of those bottles, but I am almost certainly going to buy some of them. And then Anuj, the tease, the big tease that he is, refused to divulge anything more about the perfume. So I am excited. I am stoked, as some people say. I am keen. I'm about as excited as I get these days. Do you know what I mean? But I can't wait to find out what's going on there. I did message him. Sorry, I did message him earlier today when I realised I was going to come on stream and talk about it. But he wasn't giving anything away other than I asked him, I was like, oh, have you had like loads of inquiries so far? Because I would have thought as soon as people heard that, they'd have been straight onto him. Thank you, Wasif, sorry. Thank you for coming. Well, it was happy to meet you. But yes, Anuj was waxing. He wasn't waxing lyrical, but he was certainly waxing about how he has been, because he's mentioned stuff like this before in passing about acquiring new vintage fragrances, and like how like it must be difficult because you've got to buy like, I imagine it's like you've got to buy other people's collections, or you've got to buy old retailers' unsold stock, and everybody knows the state of the vintage market out there at the minute is an absolutely diabolical scene. That's another fucking disaster zone as far as like I was looking at cars the other day. I mean, obviously everything's expensive at the minute, you know. Vintage perfume, luxury items, perfumes, watches, clothes. Then you add the vintage aspect into that as well. So it's just like fucking putting afterburners on a fucking already red hot fucking engine. And please excuse my ignorance, but who is Anuj? I will be fucking making you fully aware of that. Send us an email after the thing, mate, and I'll put you in touch with him if you want. He sells vintage perfumes out of Canada. Not half of my collection, that's an overstatement, but a lot of my collection has come through Anuj. He has a shop in Canada called Enchanté. I have bought many a perfume, mate. Email us and I'll get back in touch with you. I also need to talk to you about something else. Spoke to my friend in Japan the other day. He reckons that your scent should be here this coming week. So it'll be a big week for me. I'm getting a car, and I'll finally be getting your fucking perfume. If it takes much longer, mate, I'll either send you some money or sort something else out with you. Anything you like. But fear not. Something will happen soon. Anyway, Anuj. He has dropped the bomb. He has dropped us some crumbs. The Hansels and Gretels that we are. So this big haul that he's getting, and he did mention the fact that he was getting multiple bottles of things. So it's not going to be a case of me buying all the Balenciaga Pour Homme, if there is any, which I don't know that there is. I might buy another 100ml bottle, because while it sounds like quite impressive that I've got fucking 15, 16 bottles of Balenciaga Pour Homme, they're all 15 mils. They're all 50 mils, I beg your pardon. So I might take a 100ml bottle, or you know what I mean. So we'll see, but I might not. I might not. It'll depend what else is there, because I'm not just going to take one of everything like I used to. There's a lot of stuff that I've got now that I don't want or need any more of, and I'm being a lot more judicious with what I buy. So it's not like I've got like the fucking bright red telephone into his office, and I'm like, oh, I want everything, you know. So I'm interested. Genuinely have no idea what he's got. What's shipping like from Canada? Absolutely hideous, mate. But we can, if you want, when it does happen, right, we can work that. Me and you and like a few other people. I've tried to do this before. Try and get everybody, like a few people, in on one haul, and we can split the shipping pro rata. So say I buy 10 bottles and you buy 2, I'll pay 5. You 5 pots to your 1. Do you know what I mean? And who's your Santa Claus? Yes, that's right. But I'm excited by this thing, and I was wanting to talk about it, and it's coming. Bjorn makes a very, very, very valid point. The thing with vintage fragrances is that it could be very risky when you search online, especially when you buy from eBay. It could be fake or expired. eBay gives you really good coverage as a buyer. So you've got to know your fragrance, you know. Like, there's a responsibility as well. Nobody's going to, like, you know, nobody's going to tell you. I mean, I've been done on eBay before by a Sahara Noir. And it was all there. And it was somebody, if you go back and look on my community posts, it was somebody in the comments. I haven't deleted it. But I got done like it was a fake. And it was my own fault. It was entirely my own fault. I mean, it was the horrible shit who sold us its fault as well. Fuck them, because they knew exactly what they were doing. Welcome, Melissa Villanueva. How are your wafers? But yes, how much do custom taxes cost from Canada? Nothing, nothing. When you buy from Anuj, it should be nothing. You know, you can sort through his bias to narrow down what could be a bit. How much do customs taxes? Sebastian the Goat. There hasn't been one frag review where he didn't cover it. He reviews everything he does. He is extremely keen. Is he the GOAT? I would struggle to take that away from Robes, although I might be old-fashioned in that opinion. Gent sense. I mean, I do actually like Ashton. I think Ashton's a good lad. I think he genuinely loves fragrance. And he's not an, do I want to say a shill? I think he does shill for clone brands and stuff, but he's not one of these, like, he's not one of these people who sends out like fucking emails like some of the other Northeastern United States reviewers do, who says, I can make fucking your sales go through the roof, that kind of thing. I think people get in touch with him and he kind of makes a choice. I like Ashton, so I should announce that bias straight away. But his channel this last year has been all clones, and it's been horrible. I don't like that. Sebastian's not like that. Sebastian's never gone down the clone route, to be fair to him. You could possibly these days, very possibly. There's a guy in fucking Brazil who has hundreds of thousands of subscribers who I don't know very much about. Maybe he's the GOAT. If I could understand a word he said. Is Eugene the GOAT? It's all about personal preference. What's your criteria? You know, what's your criteria for GOAT? You know, you've got to have horns and a tail. What's happening here? It's all about personal preference, my friends. So we could talk about this ad infinitum, you know, until the end of recorded time, and it would just be a matter of opinions, like. But I would say Sebastian's right up there. I'd be shocked if somebody didn't have him in the top 3. Like, I would be shocked if anybody out there was asked to name their top 3, and Sebastian wasn't one of them. Like, he's made it his life. Oh, Richie G wore this yesterday. Tom Ford Noir Extreme. He wore this yesterday, and it was fucking glorious. Richie G took us to the garage to go and inspect this new car I'm getting. And fuck me, put this on. Didn't it smell like amber and narghile? Please excuse my ignorance, but who was in news? Email us after the stream. Sebastian is a great guy. I love his energy, but I would not say he's the GOAT. He doesn't dive deep into fragrance, hardly reviews vintage fragrances. He does love his vintage fragrances, though. He does love his vintage fragrances. I agree. The thing is that he covers so much. It's like my channel's much more specialist. His is much more generalist. You know, I'm into vintage designers, some niche, and I'm trying to get more into niche, and I don't want to say I'm against indies, because it's not like I'm telling people not to buy them. I don't like them. But his is much more. He covers fucking everything, you know. Bottle number 9 folks aren't the best. Fuck them. What's the shipping like from Canada? Absolutely abhorrent, mate. The shipping is fucking horrible from everywhere. Thing with vintage fragrances, it could be very risky. I've read that. So you'd be surprised how hard some people convince themselves their scent hasn't turned. I wouldn't be surprised, mate, because I've done it myself. What car are you getting, Rich? Well, there is a charity in this country called Motability, which helps provide disabled people with mobility apparatus. So, you know, like mobility scooters, electric wheelchairs, and in my case, cars. And I am getting a brand new Corsa. So that's kind. It's very good of them. It comes at a cost. You've got to trade off some part of like the disabled. I don't want to use the word benefit because it's a fucking people look down on you if you're on benefits, but like you've got to trade off some of that to get a car. I wouldn't use it for that. If the car market wasn't an absolute aberration. It's the used car market in this country is disgusting. There's a company called We Buy Any Car in this country, which apparently has an airfield in Leeds. And on that airfield, right, they have 40,000 used cars they have stocked up and waited for the market to go up because they've strangled the supply, right? And now they're selling them off at a very slow rate into London for fucking 4 times what they were worth when they bought them. Scandalous. They should be liquidated. But that's none of my business. Well, it is my business, but fuck them. That's what I say. As long as vintages are cared for, yes. Not going to lie, it can be a little unfair when you compare a vintage fragrance to the newer reformulation because the vintage is fully matured, whereas the new one is freshly made. When the new one comes out, it should be bang, ready to hit the ground running. This whole thing about maceration and maturation after the fact, it's bullshit. That's what clone houses do. That's an excuse that people give you for shit fragrances. It's absolute horseshit. That is just absolute slander. If you're getting a fucking brand new fragrance and it doesn't smell fucking as it should, that fragrance should be ready to go the day that it's bottled. It should be ready to go. Yes, it will change over time. It may get better depending on your taste. But the idea that you have to macerate it yourself, that's a lie. And they are fucking you over. That is an absolutely fucking outrageous fucking excuse from these shitty fucking perfume companies. There's not a lot of brands that make that, but there are a lot of people on forums and on the internet in general that will sit and tell you, oh, you need to let it macerate. No, you don't need to let it fucking macerate. It should have macerated already and it should be ready to go. Now, your vintage fragrance may have changed over time, but there's a fucking almost an equal chance. Well, no, it's not an equal chance. Depending on how it's stored, it'll change how it smells, you know? It's just it's this thing that and I'm not slating you, Bjorn, for saying that, but this whole fucking idea that like vintage perfumes are better because they've macerated is disgusting, and it's an excuse. And basically, what they're doing is say, wait until your rights have ran out as after you've purchased it, so that you can't come back to us and say, but this doesn't happen with Middle Eastern fragrances because they're not fucking legally fucking, they're not legally fucking, they're not functioning within the fucking regulations at all. But you say to a clone brand, this fragrance smells like absolute shit, and they're like, oh, you've got to leave it for 2 months, you've got to leave it for 6 months, a year, and then it'll smell better. And it's like, no, that's how long I've got until the perfume can be returned. That's what you're fucking saying, dickheads. It's one of the biggest myths, and it's perpetuated by the consumers because of what DJ said. You would be surprised how many people will trying to convince themselves that their fragrance has not turned, or how many people have tried to convince themselves that their fragrance isn't dog shit, or that they've been conned. It is easier to fool people than it is to convince them they've been fooled. That has always been true, and is a facet of human behavior. Shit as we are. I get the feeling Sebastian... Oh no, what was that? Sorry. Max 40, the used car salesman and adolescents, they are two of the people, I believe, who are guilty of sending out begging emails to companies. It's all oxidation maceration is a myth, says Mighty. I get the feeling Sebastian tries to get through his reviews really quickly now, like fragrance reviews for him are a chore to do. DJ at one point, Max 40 subscribed to me, and that's fucking hilarious. It's because I was on Robes Away at stream. Once I saw it was 100 mil, I knew something was up. eBay can be really sketchy, but they're also an incredible person with a source of quite rare vintage stuff. eBay, like all things, it's a tool. You've got to know how to use it. Let's see, Tom Ford Extreme at 100 mil. I'm the greatest fragrance influence because I'm going to outlast them all, says Dev. Well, you are young, to be fair. Saying people on Fragrantica saying vanilla sex smells like vanilla and animal skin. JJ could be great if he puts out more content consistently. Be a lot greater if he wasn't such a fucking insufferable bellend. I bought loads of fragrances off eBay. There's no other choice. If you want something that's discontinued, they'll always refund you anyway if you get a fake. I haven't had a fake yet. Well, I didn't think I'd had a fake until it was too late. Ashton just plays the algorithm. Yeah, it doesn't seem to me that he's... I mean, I had high hopes for his Extra Gent Sense channel. I thought he was going to start doing the content that I always thought he wanted to do. That's not purely selfish from my point of view, and that's not saying... I'm not like sitting here being like, oh, I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. That's not what I'm saying. It's just his Extra Gent Sense channel. It just didn't do it. But he has played the algorithm better than anyone. Better than Jeremy Fragrance. The thing with Jeremy Fragrances, you can't take anything he says seriously anymore. Like, if he told me, if I walked outside and the sun was shining and he said, nice day, I'd be like, are you sure? You know what I mean? Are you sure? Like, he's fucked it. Like, I don't think there's any coming back from the shit that he's pulled. Like, I don't know how he could rehabilitate himself at this point. But then you see what Cuddles is trying to fucking do with his shorts videos, and there you go, you know what I mean? In his recent video, Sebastian told that he wouldn't be doing what he's doing if it wasn't for vintages. Well, there we are. I mean, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing if it wasn't for vintages. I mean, I wouldn't be doing very much if it wasn't for vintages, to be honest with you. What car are you getting, man? Ashton's just a clone channel now, but I bet he's making $1. Yeah. Awesome. And Etsy is insanely expensive compared to other sources. Etsy's fucking mental. Sense of South Jersey's a really good fragrance YouTuber. Yeah, I get the feeling he's moving away from it a bit more, though. I feel like the novelty's worn off. I've watched most YouTubers apart from TLTG. Definitely bought a lot of his subs, says Ryan. I don't know about that. He just the thing with TLTG is that he never made or makes like the kind of content that like I'm into. He's not into the type of stuff I make. He's definitely like put a lot more effort into his content though. It's just not the type of content I make. There's hell on about him apparently all the time. Like people have really taken it upon themselves to hate on him. I'm not sure why he deserves it, whereas other people don't, or other people. I think it's just because he claps back, or he did, which is one of the worst things you can do. Oh, I've got an itchy leg. Why are you so itchy? Excuse me, whilst I put some goo on said itchy leg. Yeah, the market share is in the States is crap too. Someone in Macquarie wants 500 USD for 7.5 mil of Fev. If that's the case, fragrances should be treated like wine and kept in a bottle for years before companies sell it, says Westnude. Exactly. But in our case, they only need to do it for about 2 to 3 weeks, usually. Sometimes even a week. Brands don't dispatch perfumes that are not macerated as part of the manufacturing process. It's not something that can be skipped. Some brands do. Some brands literally dispatch them, clone brands and stuff like that. Literally skip that process. People still talk about juice colour as if it means anything. It boggles the mind, says DJ. Serge Luton has taught us that juice colour doesn't mean anything because they're all different colours. West Nude wines don't get aged in bottles, they get aged in barrels. The same process that happens in fragrances happens in wines. I love the smell of food colouring. The whole oxidation maceration is a myth. Wines very much age in the bottle. Whole point of proper cellars. I see maceration is an excuse when searching vintage fragrance from the internet. When looking at the ingredients, it only has 3 alcohol, water, and perfume. How much perfumery has changed? Exactly. Cheers and Happy New Year, says Shelby. New Year is the only day in the year that I celebrate, and the day that I fucking celebrate. I'll see you later, alligator. See you later, Shelby. Once the US adopts tighter IFRA standards, those Middle Eastern frauds are gone. Yeah, cheers. See you night, Dev. I watch Sebastian Ramsey and Rich, of course. I respect Ashton and Rose, but don't watch them. I fucking hate TLTG. Chaos Fragrances, Curly and the Aussie Girl, says Stuart. The one thing Dev does that annoys me is ask for interaction from viewers, but hardly interacts with his viewers. Who's Deb? Seb. Got you. Jensen's Ashton knows how to talk about fragrances. He gives you a decent breakdown. He's intelligent. He invests a lot of time in a crappy product. I basically know what to avoid. Yeah. Jeremy lost his mind wanting to be top dog. I don't think that's necessarily how or why he lost his mind. There's some severe mental health problems going on there, at least. That's been kind to him. TLTG is a fraud. There's no way he got more legitimate subs than Joy. I mean, he gets like 2,000 views per video. Yeah, he's got 107,000 subs. He's an insecure little man, says Ryan. I have the Tom Ford Noir Parfum. It's really nice. It may be more masculine than a Noir Extreme. I think it's discontinued now. Cuddles is an awful human being. Absolutely he is. An absolutely terrible piece of shit that fucker is. You can tell Jensen loves fragrance with the Gucci envy in the background, but he quit his job for YouTube. So as to make that pay for some clone videos do big numbers. I don't know that he quit his job. I mean, I didn't know that. That's news to me. That is the first time I've ever heard that Ashton's quit his job for YouTube. But some of those clone houses, you hear some of the money they're throwing around. 7.5 grand for a video. You know? Mental. That fucking soldier. Do you know of any other good fragrance podcasts out there other than Les Odorants? Nope. I wanted to do one with Galen Thomas and Eugene, but Galen put the kibosh on it. I don't know that it was just Galen, to be fair. I've said that, but I'll blame Galen for anything I can get away with, to be fair. It's I wanted to do one a couple of years ago with them and said, like, this is where we should, like, I really wanted to do it. This is essentially a podcast. My channel is essentially a podcast just with some shitty fucking visuals. You know what I mean? Like, just a little bit of bottle porn. That's exactly, it's essentially what my channel is me talking about fragrances and showing you the bottles. You know, I'm not on camera because I'm fucking scared of how I look. I've been on camera before. I'll be on camera again. It's just easier for me to sit here in my chair with me fucking feet up, with a drink of water, and chill and talk about perfume and talk about it, though. Who's Cuddles? He is a horrible human being. Vilanyi Danielle, welcome to you. How are you? Hey everyone, welcome Margie Noir. Can there be two goats? If I say Rich and Eugene are the goats. Thank you, Margie. You are too kind. You are scared that you will make us jelly of your looks. Well, quite. That's right. I did think about doing something else, like doing another format, but I'm like, I look around my room and like my house, and I'm like, how am I going to do this? Do you know what I mean? How am I actually going to get to the point where I can film a video? And I can't be fucking off. You hear people are like, oh, I spent 2 hours editing a video the day. I'm like, fuck off. You've got fucking no chance of my fucking spending 2 hours editing a fucking video. If I edited a video, I promise you, it would make my videos worse. Right? It wouldn't make them better. It would make them worse because I am shit at stuff like that. Absolutely terrible. I am also very lazy. Not that lazy, but you know what I mean. I'm not massively into like photography. That's one of the reasons I don't have fucking. But is she a YouTuber? They were a YouTuber. They're trying to make a comeback now, but there was some revelations about them being a teacher and taking home some of the students and filming them dancing and kissing them. That came out, and they got suspended from the job. Clone houses could be making a lot of money. I think they're giving free bottles to influencers to review them. Yeah, they're not just giving them free bottles. They're making fucking... they're paying them. They're giving them money. Large amounts of money as well. Large amounts of money. I just think that influencer marketing is really cheap and makes brands look cheap when they do it. You know? It's cheap, it's gimmicky, it's crap. It's not... Unless you're like a top influencer who makes really high-end videos. And you're not some tacky, like, vulgar, you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to get Chanel sending bottles to fucking any of the fragrance YouTubers. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to get, like, a high-end brand doing that because it's not a high-end marketing strategy because it's cheap. The best fragrance YouTuber is the OG Drakdoc. He was great as well. If I make a video, I want to make an early Drakdoc style video. I like that non-HD aesthetic of early YouTube. Yeah, I like that old aesthetic. It's me essentially vlogging my perfume journey, quote unquote. That's it. You know what I mean? That's just me essentially fucking saying what I'm doing as far as perfume's concerned. And then this video style just makes it easier for us, really. There was a time when I first started, if you watch the old live streams, there was a time when I started, it would just be a black screen. So it was literally like you were watching like you were listening to a podcast. There was nothing on the screen. And that's because at the time, I couldn't sit up for very long. I couldn't sit up for very long. I literally had to lie down and just talk about perfume, and it was great. Now I can sit up at a chair and do that for about a couple of hours at a time. So, Rich, your video style is perfect. Thank you, Manginosis. New Dior Privé looks promising. Aldehydes, frankincense, and amber. I'm not sure about the aldehydes, but I'll try it, definitely. Terms of US marketing and events really compels and obliges those paying attention to be more discerning and critical in their thinking about everything. There is an aspect of that. There are. If you're not fucking lively, if you're not looking lively, then you'll get somebody will take the piss. Like Newcastle are worse than Man United this season. That's saying something because we are crap. We've been worse than Man United recently because of our fucking. We have been absolutely fucking. We've been absolutely decimated. And Eddie Howe. The problem with Eddie Howe is the criticism I would have of Eddie Howe. Would be because he hasn't got a plan B. He only plays one way. He needs to be more flexible tactically. Sometimes the amateur approach is best. I'm happy to be called a fucking amateur. Like, absolutely I am. Oh, I forgot the Fragrance Apprentice, says Stuart. I like George. I watch him. He really puts thought and effort into his videos. Don't agree with most of his recommendations, but he's a character I think would be much worse off without George. Which definitely has something about him, because there's no way I'd watch another fragrance YouTuber for 2 hours. Yes. I appreciate everybody watching for 2 hours or listening for 2 hours. You can sit and play Candy Crush or whatever, do whatever you want with your hands, because there's no like visual aspect. George is kind of like the opposite to me. George is all about the visual aspect. And I'm like all about the not visual aspect, you know. George wants to do other things with his life as well, like the filmmaking and like, again, I think he's just vlogging honestly what he's doing with his life and how he's evolving and changing. Don't trust people who never change. I'm seriously thinking of grabbing 415ml of the Hermes Essence. Herman Essence. That's a great little deal, that, but they're bloody much more expensive than they used to be. Switched out New Look. Yeah, not New Look 1947, just New Look by itself. Beginner Demi Rolling was the GOAT for me. Do you know what it is about Demi Rolling, right? Demi Rolling definitely had the potential to be a really, really, really good reviewer. But she decided not to be. It's as simple as that. She decided not to be. She took another path. She went for the influencer lifestyle. And that's her choice. But she definitely could have been a great reviewer. You know? I think she's got a decent nose. I think she can describe stuff. I don't think she's a dickhead. I just think that she went down a different path. What's the deal with Monica Chioc? Fuck knows what the deal with Monica Chioc is. I have no idea. Only Hermes Essence after Queer D'Ange I want is Poivre Samarkand. Look how transparent it is. That's black pepper. I'm seriously thinking of ground. Juventus is having a decent season. I really like they are using the academy players, giving them playing time. I'll add Claire Smurfy Girlie to the good reviewers. Yes, Claire's got an exceptional nose, actually. I've been watching her videos that she's been putting out quite a few over the past few days. She was talking about the Nutcracker earlier. Perhaps you and George should get together and create a YouTube super channel. George has asked to meet us a couple of times because he doesn't live that far away. He only lives like 100 miles up the road. It's just the problem with me is that any day I agree to meet somebody, I could wake up on that day and just be like, whoop, can't get out of bed. You know? Which is a shame, but it's true. Galen is here. Galen, you did not just get here. Injury's killing us, yes. I think Quaid Orange is one of my all-time leathers. Yeah, Eugene too. Juste Rose is spaced out. Favourite female reviewer? And who can blame him? I don't know who I think Smurfy Girl is probably my favourite female reviewer. If I'm being honest. She's got an incredible nose. Anyway. I am off, my friends. I am off. There have been a lot of people in here. Reached about 62 at one point. Oh. So that was fun. Thank you very much for watching, for liking, for keeping me company. And I will see you all. Sunshine Corgis, welcome. Katie Puckrick, yes, Katie Puckrick was great, but she has left us. It's been 10 years, man. Anyway, I'm off. Thanks very much, everybody. And I will see you all again soon. Goodbye. Oh.